Namaste. Welcome to the session. And we are studying the book Experiencing Being, the Golden Lotus Sutra on Life by our Guruji, Master Chopak Sui. We've already completed two books. In case you missed them, the recordings are available. You can go through them. Now, this one is really important because this is about life. And what is more important than living life properly? Yeah. So we are trying to see how Guruji, Master Chua has, what is his advice? What is his guidance on life? And how can we understand that and how can we implement that in our lives? Yeah. If you just look at the contents of the book, you'll see that every important aspect of life has been covered in that. So this is really, a very important book. And I have been gifting this book to non-pranic healers. And many of them have come back to me and told me that they found it very helpful. So just an idea that you can, it's a nice birthday gift to give to somebody. All right. So we are on page 3, the last sutra on page 3. Live an intense, extraordinary life. It makes life more interesting. So, what is Master trying to tell us? When I got into pranic healing, every place where pranic healing was mentioned, there would be a byline, or a subtext, which used to say, "Manifest your greatness." So, I think this is what Master is trying to tell us when he says intense, extraordinary life. I think he is provoking us, or he's motivating us to manifest our inner greatness, because that is really what will make life intense and extraordinary. And there is my personal view on this, and it's based on my understanding of Master Choa's teachings. Life has many factors, life has many parameters, many sections, or many aspects are there of life. You can live your life with and A and D, yeah, or you can live your life with or. Let me explain. So you can say, I can be honest in my business, or I can be prosperous in my business. Are you understanding? This is how, when your attitude is based on or, this is how we think. Oh, either I can be honest or I will be prosperous. To be prosperous, I have to be dishonest, right? But what Master tells us is that you replace the or with an and. I can be honest and I can be prosperous. I can be ethical and be successful. I can have materialism in my life and I can be spiritual. My life can be a balance of both materialism and spiritualism. You see, otherwise, if you see, people living ordinary lives, their attitude is of or. They may not be aware of it, they may not say it, but their belief is that if I am into materialism, I cannot be spiritual. If I am doing spiritual practices, I should not be materialist. So, and throughout this book, you will see this come up again and again, where Master is reminding us that life is all, or a intense extraordinary life is all about and. I hope my point is coming through. I hope we are communicating, because this is, to my mind, an important thing to understand. That is why a guru is so important for us, because he gives us a different dimension altogether to life, or a different point of view. In the earlier sutras, in the same page, sutra number 3, he talked about what your life is depends on your attitude. So if your attitude is of or, that is what your life will be. If your attitude is of and, that is what it will be. Yeah. Okay, shall we move forward? If there's a something you would like to discuss, please just put a hands up or type a question, or you can even unmute and speak. Okay, the next is a new section beginning. It says self. Show loving kindness to others and be kind to yourself. So in this section, we are going to talk about taking care of the self while living an extraordinary, intense life. You see, again, this is again an example of and or. Many people may have this belief, if I am taking care of other people, I will necessarily or naturally ignore myself. Or if I am taking care of myself, I will have to ignore other people. Again, Master is telling us, and practice loving kindness to others, but also to your own self. Take care of yourself. And I think you will keep seeing this. I will keep reminding you that here is an example of and. And it is this and when when you combine the two, what should I say, complementing opposites, that life will become intense, it will become extraordinary. All right, let's move forward. We are on page 7, Sutra number 1. Maintain your inner peace. Continue with your work. Act accordingly and steadily. Now, when Master has talked about an intense, extraordinary life, here is the key. How do you make your life extraordinary and intense? It is not through impulsive, random, haphazard, fits of passion. Today you are excited about this, tomorrow you are excited about that. No, that is not how your life will become extraordinary. I mean, your life may become extraordinary, but you will not be manifesting greatness. Yes. So for that, that old saying, slow and steady wins the race. So steadiness, persistence, that becomes key. And when Master says, continue with your work, act accordingly. So what he is reminding us, or what I think he's trying to tell us, is that we are trying to pursue a spiritual life, or we understand that the goal of life is spiritual progress, spiritual development, spiritual evolution. So we need to live life accordingly. So in the Indian system, there is the term dharma, which means, what is the right word for dharma? Righteousness. So live life according to dharma, or live life according to righteousness. And in the Japanese culture, they have a very nice concept of ikigai. I don't know if you've heard of it. You can look it up. Ikigai. It's become a popular word these days. You can find out more about it. It's an excellent thing. So these are ways to live your life where you have in the proper righteous way. All right, let's move on. You do not have to be completely sane, but emotionally and mentally, you must be strong and focused. So it's the same, I think, thing Master is telling us: persistence, steadiness, continuity, focus. These things are very important. In the next sutra actually explains this steadiness and so on beautifully. It says, power comes from self-restriction. Steam in an open space would just simply scatter in different directions. Steam contained in an engine, or in a chamber of an engine, can move a whole train. Can you imagine the weight of a train? But it moves because, there is, of course, steam engines are now not used so much, but the first trains were based on steam engines. So there would be, they would be dumping coal, and that coal would be, powering, would be causing steam. The steam, when it was, when the steam is created, it causes pressure, and that would drive the piston, and so much energy would be generated that the entire train would move. And can you imagine the weight of a train? But that is the so what master is pointing to us here is that if you allow your power to be wasted, if it is not focused, if it is not channelized, yeah, like we talked about, steady and regular action, not random, not haphazard, not getting distracted, not losing your power. You see, we all have the same power, or at least we have access to the same power. We all have our divine connection. There is, infinite prana around us. What power do you need? There is prana and there is divine energy. All of us have potentially access to the same amount of energy. The question is, who is able to channelize it? Who is able to limit it? By limiting, what it means is keep it, focused onto your, the life's plan, the life's purpose. Or do we dissipate it? Do we waste it? That really is the key. So this is a very powerful thing for life. I think, like we do inner reflection, firm resolution for virtues, this is another subject to do inner reflection and firm resolution on. How am I spending my time? Where am I spending my energy? Where am I spending my mental energy, my physical energy, and so on? How much of it is related to my dharma, to my life purpose? And then you have to see, okay, what is, where am I wasting it? Are you understanding? Okay. Moving forward, be rooted and practical. If you are not rooted, do you know what will happen? Nature will kick you in the head. You will have so much problems. You will be forced to face reality. So practicality is very important for life. Because if you are not practical, if you are impractical, if you are living in a dream world, oh, I wish this would happen. Yeah, okay, wishing is okay, but you have to be practical. What is possible? How is it possible? There is in one very popular book, The Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, he draws two circles. He says one is the circle of influence, the other is the circle of concern. Circle of influence means I can do something about it. Circle of concern is, well, I can be concerned about it, but there is nothing I can do. So what you can't do anything about, why are you wasting your time, your energy, and so on? So being practical means staying focused on what is possible. And this is very, very important. And for practicality, Master has given us a hint to one of the things that can make us practical: rooting. Have you noticed at the end of every meditation, he says, imagine roots going into the earth. Yes, you remember? Why? Because rooting means we come back to earth. We get rooted again. Because with meditations, it's easy to be, flying, be impractical after that. But he says, no, you need to, you're reaching out to the sky, but you have to be firmly planted on the ground. You see, have you seen trees with weak roots? The slightest disturbance, they get disturbed, they get uprooted. If you have strong roots, you don't give up, you remain steady, you don't get distracted, you don't get disturbed easily. One tip for you: if any time, life is becoming very challenging, take out some time to do extra rooting. Few times in the day, check your root. Again, it only takes a couple of minutes. Strengthen your root, especially when times are challenging, when life is very challenging. जब life में बहुत मुश्किल आ रही है और आप disturb हो रहे हो, आप distract हो रहे हो, try this. आप उस समय rooting थोड़ा ज़्यादा कीजिए. And you will find that it's then easier to be persistent, easier to be more steady. You don't get disturbed very easily. Can you fix yourself without, I'm going forward. Can you fix yourself without a mirror? Somebody who dislikes you is like a mirror. He can help you, he or she can help you grow spiritually. Let's read the next sutra also because they are quite connected. Sometimes when you are insulted, the pain causes you to improve yourself and therefore you develop. So, again, very, very, very practical advice. You know, it's I would say that difference in opinion, you have to have people in your, circle or so on who have difference of opinion with you. Because that is what allows you to grow your mind. That is what allows you to see things from a different perspective. Are you understanding? Because if everybody around you is just an eco board meaning they just say the same thing, they believe the same thing, they agree on everything, your thinking is going to be very limited. You will never get a fresh perspective. So sometimes in business we say let's get a fresh pair of eyes, मतलब किसी को बुलाओ जो उसको अलग नजरिए से देखेगा. And many times we need to in a group, for example, you are taking a decision, it is very important that one person, even though he agrees, that person must play what is called the devil's advocate. You know, that person says, okay, I will be the devil's advocate. So that person is constantly criticizing, not because, anything, but because that is necessary. That is where your thinking will get refined. अगर सब जने आपसे अग्री करेंगे तो आपकी सोच में विस्तार नहीं आएगा. Correct? And here Master also talks about insult. You see, what happens is we ask people for feedback. You may ask, okay, how was my, you give some performance, say, how was my performance? Now person, oh, very nice, very nice, very nice. Chota mota, but very nice, very nice. Sometimes you may neglect the possible improvement. The improvement that was possible is missed. Sometimes the insult works better because it is slightly injurious. It pinches you, है ना, वो थोड़ी चुभती है आपको. चुभती है तो दिमाग में अटकती है. हाँ, and now your attitude is very important. If you become resentful, oh, how dare this person say this to me, then it is not going to help you. But if you say, okay, I don't have to accept what this person is saying fully, but let me think about it. Maybe there is an area of improvement for me here. Then you will see that this will be very, very helpful. The so-called insult, that insult over time you will forget, but the lesson will be very, very helpful. And that is why, just to remind you, Master always tells us to have a spiritual buddy. Spiritual buddy meaning somebody who understands you, is friendly, is interested in your growth, but is also there to point out your flaws, who's able to tell you, hey, you need to improve on this. This is not what you did was not right. And things like that. We talked about, you remember earlier we talked about attitude, why your attitude will shape your life. Great example here. Instead of when somebody insults you or when somebody gives you, criticizes you, instead of being resentful, you end up appreciating. That's what Master is saying. So, it's like a mirror. So, good. क्या है कि आप उसको appreciate कर रहे हैं उससे नाराज होने के बजाय. So, that is good. And ये attitude जैसे ही आपका change होगा तो आप उससे सीख लेंगे rather than, sort of turning away या उस वहां से दूर हटने के बजाय. Okay, we've gone past the time. Maybe we can stop here. I see a message, needed this line today, but heard from wrong insult doesn't help to develop, it makes wounds. How to get over that? So I think when you say wrong insult, that is a message. And so when you say wrong insult, I think that is what you have to get over. And insult is a feedback. It is a negative feedback. Perhaps the person could have given it better, but that is that person's karma. What about you? What you need to do is to change your attitude, and instead of developing resent or being resentful, आपने ये करना है कि ठीक है, it's okay, this person could have said it better, but that is that person's problem, not my problem. My problem is to see what that person has said unemotionally, to see how much truth there is, and whatever the truth is, make use of it. And what is not truthful, just discard it. Yeah. It's better that somebody gives you a harsh feedback rather than the person gives you feedback that doesn't help you improve at all. All right. Does anybody
So
want to say something, or?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Lakshmi ji.
Yes. So situations come where it is maybe an insult from the other person wants to insult you,
Yeah.
and it is absolutely baseless.
That's all right. So you have to discard it, not let
How
it
does
affect
it?
you.
Why does it happen?
Well, you
Then
see,
where is the lesson in that?
okay. No, there may or may not be a lesson in what the person is saying. But the lesson here is that if you remember our practice of forgiveness, it begins by accepting that I am not perfect, other people are not perfect.
Okay. Okay.
Now,
That
that
level.
person out of imperfection is saying something. Now, let us practice, let us try to become better and, let's say, less
Forgive.
imperfect by not getting emotionally caught up or chained in that.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
My feeling was whether it is some kind of a karmic backlash which you can't prevent.
Of course. That is another thing to understand from this, that,
Yeah.
whatever is happening to me, whatever is causing me pain is some karma from the past coming back to play now. So
That's
it's
also possible. No?
yeah,
And
that's
of course, you can get over it by forgiving at the moment, then and there, perhaps.
forgiving, and also, just pay attention to it. And if you find that there is nothing involved in this, well, then just ignore it.
Right.
It's not easy, by the way. It's not easy. So you have to first get over the hurt, first overcome the hurt, and then think about it. Are you understanding? It makes a difference. It makes a difference. I see a thumbs up. Is it in terms of saying yes, or do you want to say something? Lakshmi ji, I'm muting you. All right. So let's end the session. I mean, this part of the session.